for my second topic, I've decided to do reducing global poverty. So, to kind of define poverty a little bit, according to the UN, poverty is more than just a lack of resources and income. It is also led by other negative side effects such as hunger, malnutrition, social discrimination, lack of education, and more. And this kind of leads to a cyclical cycle of individuals who are uneducated and they can't continue to gain access careers that will be able to pay for their livelihoods moving forward. So to address the issue a little bit, currently 8.5% of the entire population is facing extreme poverty worldwide, and 2/3 of that 8.5% it resides in the sub-Saharan Africa, which will be important and addressed later. So in addition to this, COVID-19 has hindered the previous extraordinary progress in fighting global poverty and increased the amount of people experiencing extreme poverty by 71 million. From 1990 to 2014, the world had made exponential progress in reducing extreme poverty, with over 1 billion people moving out of that condition. And some other important facts on poverty include 1 in 6 children live in extreme poverty. And between 2013 and 2022, the number of children living on less than $2.15 USD, living on that amount a day, has decreased from 383 million to 333 million. However, the economic impact of COVID has led to a 3-year loss in progress. And finally, on some positive news about poverty, in 2024, for the first time ever, more than half the world's population, 52.4%, has some form of social protection. However, there are still roughly around 3.8 million people who can't live, or they don't have social protection rather. So next, I would like to say that I split the country or government involvement and the UN involvement in poverty into 2 different slides. So for the first, country involvement, countries can replicate successful programs or policies from other countries, such as the Bolsa Familia program of Brazil. With this program, more than 11 million families receive financial assistance, medical care, and have been encouraged to send their children to school. Additionally, more than 50% of extreme poverty has declined since 2003 in Brazil. The program pays families to send their children to school, and this combats short-term poverty by providing direct cash support and assistance to families who need it for things such as food, clothes, and other necessities. And it also combats long-term poverty by increasing human capital and working towards giving a free education to children who could not previously afford it. Additionally, governments can combat poverty by creating job opportunities for people who may not have had them. And a few examples of this could be if a government were to fund projects such as the building of roads, bridges, or other things. The government pays these people to work and it provides immediate jobs. Another example could be of building public facilities. So moving on to UN involvement, the General Assembly has adopted a political declaration at the 2023 Sustainable Development Goals Summit. And essentially, the document aims to drive for economic prosperity and well-being for all people. The document also includes a financing of $500 billion annually, as well as an effective debt relief mechanism towards poverty. On top of this, the UN has programs, committees, and other structures in an effort to combat global poverty, such as the UN Global Compact. which is the world's largest corporate sustainability incentive, and it encourages businesses to align their strategies and their operations with the 10 principles such as human rights, labor laws, and more. And essentially what this does is it ensures individuals have a fair pay, they're being treated right, and it could possibly move people from extreme poverty or just poverty in general through work. So some effects of reduced poverty. For starters, with reduced poverty, more individuals would be able to afford everyday items such as food, water, clothes, and even through time, they'd be able to afford more expensive goods that are still vital to living, such as owning homes or owning cars, things of that nature. Secondly, more individuals would be able to get an education, making them more valuable and earn more money through jobs. And this could potentially further decrease poverty in the future by providing people sustainable jobs, a sustainable income, and it would allow for their children and their children after them to continue to not have to face poverty like previously before. And finally, by reducing poverty, regions such as Africa, which has a history of conflicts due to high financial inequality, would be able to face less of these conflicts overall. So some examples of these conflicts include the Niger Delta conflict, the South Sudan Civil War, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, and more. So all of these conflicts, they would have been less likely to occur had poverty been less prominent and overall lower in these areas. However, it's not to say that these conflicts still could not have happened. It's just to say that they were less likely to have happened. And these are my citations. And again, thank you for your time.